haven't shown a lot of people this, but this is the original Ramones tour t-shirt from the 70s.
Oh, wow. Original. Man, for the 70s, like, that's pretty big. Usually I'm a big vintage shirt collector, and XL is like this big and paper thin.
Yeah.
With that screen stars?
This one's a 2X. No, I've had this forever, dude. I'll fuck you up if you touch this t-shirt.
No, what's the tag say?
It says that I'm a penis. It's just a bootleg shirt. It's not a brand, but it's a 2X. It's a 2X, but that's the original logo, and I've had it for a long, long time, man.
Wow, awesome.
Even the letters are smaller up top, but yeah, and this is the only version of the solid logo, and it's got, you know, Tommy, Dee Dee, Joey, Johnny.
Very cool.
Okay,
I'm a big vintage shirt collector. All right, guys, Vampiro, welcome. Michael, welcome. Nail in the Coffin, The Fall and Rise of Vampiro. Great documentary, very inspiring. It really shows the harsh realities of wrestling, and not too many documentaries focus on only that. And I'm surprised you're even alive, man. You're still walking. You've been taking a beating for a long time now.
Well, Mike takes care of himself. He doesn't have that bad of a life.
Right.
Yeah, he's all right. He looks good. Are you talking about me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad that you're surprised that I'm alive. Thank you. It's a nice way to be surprised.
Yeah, man, you've had a lot of injuries, and you keep going.
Yeah.
It just really shows, you know, you're bouncing back, man. You love the sport.
No, I do not. Don't get confused. I love working and entertaining people. I love the adrenaline. I love the fact that I can make a living at something that I like doing, which is entertaining people. I love the interaction with the fans in pro wrestling, but I don't like the politics of the business.
Okay, let's just say you do like the sport, but you hate the industry.
Okay. Yeah, I can live with that.
All right. So how did you guys get linked up? Are you both Canadians?
Both Canadian.
You know, I thought so, because only a true Canadian would cast Michael Ironside as the villain in Turbo Kid. Great work, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, we've known each other on and off for years. We met back in Mexico in the early 2000s. I moved to Mexico. I was working for Super Luchas magazine as a reporter, and I had heard about the myth of or legend of Vampiro in Mexico, and I had never met him, and we met and we got to know each other. And then fast forward 16 years later, I bumped into him in the airport, and he told me what he was up to. And he was like, he was commuting from Thunder Bay, Ontario to Mexico City to Los Angeles and to back again, you know, to get back home on Sunday night to take his daughter to school in the morning. And that was like, for me, that was the seed for, you know, a story.
Yeah, absolutely. So this was your idea to start a documentary about it?
We started talking about it, and that's kind of how it came to be. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great documentary, you guys. I'm surprised. I don't even know you juggle all of this. You're just flying back. I mean, wrestling on the road, it takes its toll. You guys are sleeping in hotels. You're getting beat up every night. And now it's like, as you get older, just traveling alone does that to me. So I don't even know how you're handling it.
Because I found a way to enjoy it. And I appreciate it more, and I understand my role in the picture better now of my career. And I love traveling. I'm in a place right now in my life where I'm about to start a 4-year journey. It's my next project. It's a TV show. It's a road show. I'm going to be on the road for 4 straight years without coming off. I can't tell you how thrilled I am about that, because I'm going to get to see things the way I want to see them. I'm going to get to meet the people who supported me throughout this journey, right? Because when I was Vampiro, I wasn't really accessible for a lot of reasons, but now I want to make up for that. And I'm excited. I love being on the road. I cannot, because of my mental health, I can't stay in one place for too long. You're going to end up seeing me on the news, and I don't want to be that guy just yet. I'm happy. I couldn't be happier. And I feel I hurt more when I don't travel.
All right. Well, glad to see that you're still out there. I know you have a ton of fans that you're a legend in, you know, I was a huge fan for WCW wrestling. I know you don't really think too highly of it, but for me, I love punk rock. I love, you know, Iggy Pop. I feel like we have a lot of the same influences. And you were kind of an outsider that rose up in that industry and combined the two. I mean, you brought ICP in there, whoop, whoop, Juggalo family, and then you had the Misfits. So it's like, I felt like you were kind of a wrestler for us, you know, rebel punk rock outsiders, which was very cool.
Thank you. And that means more to me than you telling me you were a wrestling fan. Yeah, one of us made it, and I flew the flag as high as I could for all of us. So I appreciate you saying that. Thank you.
Absolutely. No, it's like, and then, you know, for ICP and Michael Graves and the Misfits, it's like, and Doyle, those guys were underground. I feel like you know, you helped them with their fame just as much as they help you. It's like, they weren't mainstream at all. They weren't on national TV really. So that was so cool. And you're kind of the only person that's really done that. I mean, Motley Crue's done some appearances on, you know, Raw or something, but they definitely weren't wrestling. Like, you brought these guys in the ring.
Yeah, don't tell them that though.
Yeah, I know. Right.
Yeah, let their egos do their thing.
Yeah, I was so fascinated with the story. So you start off in Canada. You're like a hockey player, punk rock kid. You bodyguard for Milli Vanilli, which is, that's hilarious, but it's, you know, it's awesome. And
there's
then
a whole documentary on that.
I know. So that's how you got the braid Milli Vanilli influence.
Yep.
All right. And then, so you moved to Montreal. I lived in Montreal for a summer. I used to be a busboy at Biddle's Jazz and Ribs. You heard of it?
Maybe. Where is it?
I can't even remember the street. It was like Charlie Biddle's Jazz Club. I think it's called something else now.
Sounds like it was on St. Catherine Street.
Yeah, it was on St. Catherine, Rue St. Catherine or something like that. So yeah. I worked there for a little bit. So then after, you know, you're in Montreal and you head down to Mexico, and you became a legend there in Lucha Libre Wrestling. So can you tell the people a little bit the difference between American wrestling and the Mexican style? Because I feel like in Mexico, these guys are worshipped. It's not like just, you know, a subculture. It is the culture. Everyone has a mask. Everyone sees matches, and it feels like it's in their blood down in Mexico.
I think the big difference is up here they speak English, and down there it's in Spanish.
Right, and I forgot to say that. You learned a whole new language. I took Spanish for 8 years throughout school.
Dude, I'm just fucking with you, man. You gotta relax. You smoke dope? You should go hit one right now. Chill out, dude. You're my homie. You got the fucking greatest shirt on. That Lost Boys shirt. When I saw Billy Worth, he was a good friend of mine. He was one of the vampires. He was the guy with the long black hair. And I remember in the 80s, I remember when the movie came out, and that was the glory day of just pre hair bands in LA, and the Lost Boys were the influence on all those guys getting Harley Davidsons and growing the hair out. That was an important time. I remember it like it was yesterday. There was a bar here called the Cat House. Ricky Rackman used to promote all the bands there, and Faster Pussycat and Guns N' Roses and all that. You can go see them. You would go see them on a Tuesday night for like $1.50 or $2.
Right. Well, a little bit about my background. I'm a huge Corey Haim and Corey Feldman fan. I moved to LA. I was Corey Feldman's personal assistant for a couple of years. So I'm very well versed in all things Lost Boys.
You know.
And another cool part of the movie, you cruise down the Sunset Strip, you show the rainbow and the whiskey. I'm actually the talent buyer at the whiskey for the past 10 years. So that's why I thought we get along, because, you know, we're both punk rockers and it's a very music driven industry.
Yeah. I actually just drove by the whiskey yesterday because I went to see somebody at the Viper Room, and LA is LA, man, you know. So if you're you're working there now, you're doing that now?
Yeah, I mean, we're closed for the time being, and I pretty much started doing these interviews just to keep myself busy during the pandemic.
It's fucked that Lemmy's not there no more, that no one's hanging out. It's not the same, you know what I mean?
I know, it's a bummer, dude. I don't know what to do. I've been giving myself homework. I'm writing 500-word, 1,000-word essays now just to stay busy.
Just get a PlayStation and go to your dispensary. What's the matter with you?
I know.
That's all you need, brother.
I haven't smoked weed for 3 months. That's like my pandemic thing. I haven't played my Call of Duty.
That's why you're the way you are today, man.
It's a whole new me. I'm sitting here just jacked up on coffee.
No, but actually, medicinal marijuana is a big part of my recuperation. And during the movie, when we were doing the Lucha Underground segments in Los Angeles, I was dying, physically, mentally. I was very heavy. I thought my heart was going to give out. The mental health, the Alzheimer's stuff was really hitting hard. All the pain pills I was taking was making me gain a lot of weight. I was, like right now I'm 245. Then I was like 360, something like that, because of all the water weight from the drugs. So, right when Michael came to LA to start doing that, because of the medicinal marijuana and everything like that, and the whole vegan culture here in LA, somebody at El Rey basically said, dude, you're going to fucking die like this afternoon. And it was literally, I couldn't go up the stairs. I was huffing and puffing. I thought I was going to have a stroke, but they got me on medicinal marijuana and I went vegan then. And if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be doing this interview. Michael came in at the right time with this idea, and that's what kind of sparked me to see how sick I was and to get my shit together. Cause I have to take care of my daughter. And if I died then, who's going to take care of my kid? You know what I'm saying? So that was a big motivational thing.
So how have you been, just training? Did you go vegan? Is that a big part of the weight loss?
Yeah, that, no drugs, like no pharmaceuticals. Just medicinal marijuana for everything, CBD, a little bit of THC, about 90% plant-based, no meat, but every now and then I cheat. Fuck, dude, Taco Bell. I mean, come on, vegan or not, fuck them vegans. When it comes to Taco Bell, that's the shit. But the plant-based eating, just training every day, the spirituality, meditation. I've been studying ritual magic for about 12 years. And that whole process of learning about the ascension theories and spirituality and all that kind of stuff, and the project I'm doing now, which is thanks to Michael's movie, everybody wants to see, well, what happened to this guy? And that's the reason for the big change. Sure.
Excellent. Mike, what were some of the goals that you want people to take away from this movie? Because it's almost like a warning, don't get into wrestling. It's a back-breaking industry will chew you up and spit you out. That's
a crazy comment. How about that? Have you heard that before, Mike? It's a warning. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, I know. I haven't. I never thought of it like that per se. I mean, I know there's allusions to the movie The Wrestler and all that, and with that movie, Mickey Rourke goes on the path, and he tries to unite with his daughter, and it all kind of falls apart. Whereas this movie is the opposite. This is a movie about hope, and it's about family, and most importantly, a father's love for his daughter. And that was something that was the core for me to tell that part of the story. I want to tell that part of the story about Vampiro. Everybody knows about Vampiro, the other side, but this part I thought was really the most heartwarming and special part of the story.
Yeah, it really does show him juggle the professional wrestling and his personal life. And
I'm curious as to why you think it's a warning, because in my eyes, Michael has a different perspective. I don't think it's a wrestling movie at all. I mean, I could be a motorcycle policeman driving 90 miles an hour down the LA freeway chasing bad guys. That's a fuck of a lot more dangerous than pro wrestling. You know what I mean? To me, it was a message to my daughter, who didn't know I was a pro wrestler. Michael's version is different. Yours, that's the first time we've heard this. That's kind of like a warning. I've never heard that in my whole career.
Because you get so many injuries, and you're limping, you've broken your neck, you're bloody in every other scene, and that's pretty much your passion for the sport, and you keep going out there. And you really, I think you do it for the fans. Once you hear those cheers, you're like, all right, I don't even feel the pain anymore. But it just seems like a dangerous sport, and stay away. And
when Evel Knievel crashed in Las Vegas and they said, don't jump anymore, what do you think he told them?
He added another car to whatever he was jumping over.
There you go.
Another thing that I really never even considered is that there's one part in the movie where the girl, she gets a little heated in the ring and she actually loses her temper and intentionally hurts somebody. I think that was in a Lucha Libre match. I can't recall, but I've never even really factored that in. So, you know, when booze and ego and drugs and steroids combine and people lose their cool, it's like, it can be even more dangerous.
Yeah. That pretty much hits it on the head. Yeah. Mike, you wanted to go on that one?
You know, I mean, I think when that Triple Mania 25 was probably, you know, was the, you know, it was the 25th anniversary for AAA. It was their biggest event ever. It was us as filmmakers. You know, it was just two of us that were there filming, and I think the big thing with that is my perception was it was a snake pit. It's like stepping into a snake pit, and you have everybody's alpha there. And if you look at a person the wrong way, you know, they'll eat you alive. So you kind of have to, you know, you got to give everybody the respect. You know, during the event, you got to give them their space and all that. But no, it's intense. It's really intense back there. And I think the big thing for us was that when we were filming, we were just sort of like, okay, let's just follow Vamp everywhere he goes, because drama's going to follow him, you know?
Yeah. And Ian, why did you have such disdain for WCW? Because for me, that's how I kind of discovered you. I wasn't familiar with the Lucha Libre. It was, you know, you wrestled Hogan. Not many people can say they got leg dropped by Hulk Hogan. You know, that's where you were able to bring in the Misfits and ICP. But then you were saying, I hate the WCW. Is it because, you know, you sold your soul with a big contract, or they just didn't, you know, use your character properly?
I'm going to answer that in a specific way that I hope makes sense. First of all, fuck Hulk Hogan and his leg drop. I beat the shit out of Hulk Hogan.
No, you pinned him. That's right.
Yeah, so let's do some fucking fact checking there, man. Come on, brother.
It was a dirty match, though. That fire hydrant wasn't, extinguisher was involved.
It is what it is. Weekend is Hulk Hogan. What are you supposed to do?
No, you beat Hulk Hogan, brother. Props to you.
Hulk Hogan. He's the guy. And I love him, and he was probably one of the coolest people I've met in my career. And I was very honored to even share a dressing room with him. Forget about going in the ring with him. I was shitting my pants. But I need to correct my errors. I didn't hate WCW. I had a very difficult time because morally and ethically I was raised in this business a certain way. And the inside politics, the inside fighting, the lack of respect for pro wrestling, the lack of respect for being a professional. And a lot of the American guys, when they hear that, they really get mad at me. When I see them in conventions, they really get in my face about it, but I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? That you're asking me, I'm telling you how I feel. There's one example, I won't say names because one of them's still alive. There was a young man, he was a friend of mine, and he had a substance abuse problem. And I was on the plane with him, and I watched, and I used drugs throughout my career for pain and stuff like that. And I was a heavy drug user because after a while you build up a tolerance or whatever. And I should have been dead 20 years ago, 30. I should have been dead a long time ago, many times over. But I've been blessed. And I watched him on the airplane taking these pills, and I was like, holy fuck, that even scares me. And I asked my wife, because I was still married, and I said, how do I handle this? I said, he's going to die. And I saw him, he's got a baby girl. And I said, should I call the office and say something? Because you got to be careful in wrestling. You know, it's like being in prison. If you can't go to the warden and complain about something because you're marked. And I was like, I'm going to probably ruin my career, but I would rather take that chance. So I told the office, I called the boss directly, and I said, you know, I saw this is happening, and I'm very scared. From my experience, I don't think this person's going to make it. They said, yeah, we'll take care of it. They didn't do anything, and he died 4 days later. Oh, and they just swept him under the carpet. That kind of stuff. It's like, look, this is a job, and it's to entertain the fans. It's not all about making money for a corporation. And if somebody, pro wrestlers, they're not superstars, they're not legends, they're not wealthy people, they're not, you know, scientists who are going to change the world. Some of them might be. They're just normal people who got a break and pursued their dream. And then when they're young kids and they sign these horrible contracts and they get a little bit of money and they're so excited and they have a baby and they get a new car and then they have a home and they think it's going to last forever. And then 2 years later and they've been on the road for 400 days and their wife is cheating on them with the neighbor and the kid doesn't know their name and they can't make the mortgage payments and they start doing drugs and end up fucking shooting themselves. That's why I hate the wrestling industry, because you don't fucking teach kids how to manage this shit, because it's a fucking horrible, horrible thing. It really is. And you can't take somebody who comes from a smaller industry and put them on television and make them an international celebrity without educating them how to fucking do this. You don't teach them how to save money. You don't teach them about the dangers of being on the road. You don't teach them how to have communication at home, all that kind of shit. And I pride myself on helping young people understand that, because if you don't, you're going to fucking die. And WCW let about 50 people die. And I watched it and I can't stand by that. And I don't support it. So fuck them. What else do you want me to say?
Great answer. All right, guys, that's my time. Thanks so much. Nail in the Coffin. Good luck to both of you.
I think I just put another one in mine.
No, it's all good. Vampiro lives forever, man. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Thank you very much.
Well, if you can get my email, I don't give a fuck who hears it. Email my Vampiro@Vampiro TV. Email me. I'll come and see you up there.
All right, brother. Cool. We'll keep in touch.
All right, man.
See you guys.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.